Hello gamers, this is Sai, and welcome back to Which Way Games. Now, what is that noise at the bottom of the garden?
Died and gone to heaven.
It's as big as a house! I saw it first, it's mine! I got dibs on the cream filling!
Well, that explains where the neighbours' kids have gone, and with that being said, let's go on with the video. Now Pikmin is one of the many endearing games on the Nintendo GameCube, and while others may find it difficult, others find it a walk in the park, but it has got me thinking about the main story, and so with that in mind, let's take a look at the Pikmin timeline. Deep in the far reaches of space, but millions of years into the future, there is a planet known as Hocotate, and on this planet among the stars, there's a very normal but hard-working individual. This would be Olimar, who, like most of the inhabitants on planet Hocotate, works a dead-end job as an intergalactic space mover.
What?
On what should have been a very normal but boring day, Olimar's spaceship is struck by a meteor, and it plummets down towards the nearest planet. This blue planet in space just happens to be Earth, but millions of years into the future, where humanity no longer exists. Waking up several hours later, Olimar learns that his spaceship has been broken into several pieces, and now he must find the crucial parts and escape Earth before his air supply runs out. While searching his new surroundings, Olimar encounters a strange looking red onion, and as he approaches, it shoots out seeds that quickly sprout into strange looking creatures.
Oh my god!
These lovable and endearing creatures are dubbed Pikmin by Olimar, and they seem to await orders from the 1-inch captain. And so begins the adventure to collect the missing parts of the spaceship. However, Olimar must keep a watchful eye on his little helpers, as the wild animals of the forest hunt the Pikmin for sport. Over the course of his journey, Olimar encounters other Pikmin of different colours, who, like the red variety, want to help the stranger from the stars.
Oh, friend! Oh, friend!
After collecting all the spaceship parts, Captain Olimar says goodbye to the Pikmin and heads back home to planet Hocotate, but upon his arrival, he is met with some grim news.
Well, we're waiting.
The company he works for is in serious debt, which results in his beloved spaceship being sold off.
Oh, come on!
Knowing that he'll never see his spaceship again unless the debt is paid, Olimar is sent back to Earth, but this time with an assistant called Louis. It turns out that Louis is the reason as to why the company's in crippling debt. And now back on Earth with Olimar, the pair team up together to find resources to sell, so they can save the company they work for and avoid unemployment. Arriving back on Earth, the original Pikmin make themselves known, as well as two new varieties that, very much like their brethren, want to help out the mini astronauts from planet Hocotate. Once again, the Pikmin use their vast numbers to find and collect a number of unusual treasures, and with enough collected, Olimar and Louis learn that their hard work is paid off, and the debt of the company has been cleared. With the hope of being reunited with his beloved spaceship, Olimar rushes back to planet Hocotate, but upon his arrival, it turns out that he left Louis back on Earth.
Go!
Olimar and his boss immediately return back to Earth to find Louis, not only to find him, but also to avoid a very pricey lawsuit.
Oh my.
After many days of searching, Olimar and his boss find Louis in an intricate cave system, but not everything is as it seems. It turns out that Louis is actually smarter than he looks, and somehow he managed to take control of a robotic spider. But there is one thing that Louis didn't count on, and that is the power of Pikmin, who easily defeat the robotic spider, leaving Louis defeated and unconscious. Not knowing what to do with their co-worker, Captain Olimar and his boss return back to planet Hocotate, where they continue to make money for the company, all while keeping a watchful eye on the idiotic Louis.
Always watching.
In another part of the galaxy, planet Coppi is in a dire situation, where the very existence is under threat, and luckily 3 astronauts are sent into space in a last-ditch effort for survival, and their destination, planet Earth. Their mission is to collect enough resources from the blue planet in order to save their own. But as they approach Earth, the SS Drake malfunctions and crash lands. Luckily, Alf, Brittany and Captain Charlie all survive, but one crucial part of their spaceship is now missing, the cosmic drive key.
Great Scott!
And very much like Captain Olimar, the Coppi explorers encounter the Pikmin, who once again want to help these strangers from space.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
It turns out that Alf, Brittany and Captain Charlie aren't actually alone on the planet Earth. Captain Olimar and his assistant Louis have arrived shortly after, with intentions of their own. Olimar wants to obtain enough materials and resources just so he can buy back his beloved spaceship, and Louis just wants food. But while on escapades, the pair come across a cosmic drive key. Olimar picks up the key but is distracted by a strange entity and wanders off into the forest, leaving Louis alone. And for a moment, he contemplates on what to do, and so decides the best course of action is to run away.
Run away! Run away! Run away!
Eventually, Louis encounters Alf, Brittany and Captain Charlie, who mistake him for Olimar. But without a notion of remorse, Louis steals all the resources from the Coppites and runs deep into the forest. Basically, in a nutshell, Louis is a dick.
I hate you.
But Louis does receive his comeuppance when he gets eaten by a forest creature, which then forces the Coppite crew to rescue this idiot from space. After Louis reveals the area where Olimar is located, Alf, Brittany and Captain Charlie once again enlist the help of the Pikmin to collect even more resources and the final parts of their ship, before venturing off in search of Captain Olimar. Eventually, the Coppites come face to face with a strange entity known as a Plasm Wraith, who has an unhealthy obsession with Captain Olimar. Fearing that they'll lose the cosmic drive and doom their planet to extinction, the astronauts of planet Coppi attack the Plasm Wraith with the help of the Pikmin, who manage to defeat the bizarre creature and rescue Captain Olimar at the same time. Olimar returns the key back to the Coppites, who offer him a lift home back to planet Hocotate, and together they bid farewell to the Pikmin of Earth. With the dream of being reunited with his beloved spaceship one step closer than it was before, Olimar looks upon planet Hocotate with a smile, and then realises that Louis is left back on Earth once again, maybe this time accidentally on purpose. Anyway, come back next time where I take a look at my top 10 MS-DOS games, but will my list be different from the Gamerholics? Thank you so much for watching, and see you next game.